This video is sponsored by RM Risk Management.
Hello and welcome to another Blues Focus match preview where I'll be taking you through the action that's set to unfold on Saturday as Birmingham City are away at Lincoln City at Sincil Bank. And I suppose I should start at the Charlton game, shouldn't I? The fact that our beating start to the league season is over with a 1-0 defeat at the Valley against Charlton. Matt Godden scoring the only goal of the game, the only shot on target in the game as well. And it was a disappointing one, wasn't it? The fact that we only had 2 shots in the game, none on target. And I know that Charlton only had 1 shot on target and they scored from it, but they were valued for their 3 points, weren't they? The way that they stifled us, unlike any team really so far this season, because in most of the games we've been able to create good chances, but it just didn't seem to happen against Charlton, did it? They really stifled us and they got the 3 points that I think they deserved, to be honest. But we followed up that disappointment with a good win against Shrewsbury, a 4-0 thumping, really good performance. And it was great to see all the Birmingham fans that travelled out there in numbers, 3,100 of them, to see the thumping victory. And it was Scott Wright that got 2 goals, man of the match performance, really positive. And then also Wata getting another goal, brilliant finish into the top corner. And then Hansen it was that scored, wasn't it, with the rebound. And it was, a decent performance from Birmingham, wasn't it? The fact that we recovered from our Walsall draw and then also recovered from the Charlton defeat, putting that behind us, focusing on the next game and really putting in an emphatic performance. So positive to see. And as for Lincoln City up next, they're a decent side. They finished 7th place in League One last season. Only 2 losses in their last 20 league games last season. So they've done well under the guidance of Michael Skubala, someone that's a very highly rated young coach, a bit like Chris Davis, touted to do big things in the game. And it's his first proper managerial job as well. He was involved in the coaching setup at Leeds United for quite a while and now has taken the post at Lincoln City. And as I said before, last season they went on a really good run, pushed it right to the final day for the playoffs, but just missed out on it. And I'd say they're contenders to go up this season because they've had a positive start, 4th place in the league, and also they're scoring a lot of goals. And I think it's only us and Wrexham that have got a better goal difference than Lincoln. So they definitely have got off to a good start. They've scored 6 headed goals, which is actually quite interesting to see because that's something I'm kind of worried about because of our frailties from set pieces. I'm still not 100% sure that we can defend set pieces. But obviously the Charlton goal came from a long throw, didn't it? That goal against Wrexham in the first 2 minutes and a couple other set pieces, I think we've looked a little bit shaky. I mean, Peterborough as well, where the guy scored with a free header. So that's something that I'm sure Chris Davis would have researched, looked at over the international break to really try and block out Lincoln from set pieces because that's where they look the most dangerous. And they're a decent side, but obviously we're a decent side as well, top of the league. I think this game is really important for the season because we've had to play a lot of teams in and around the top half, haven't we? And it seems to be challenge after challenge, but most of the obstacles so far we've overcome. So I just hope we carry on with that. The players can take the positives away from Shrewsbury, the 4-0 win, and also learn from the negatives against Charlton as well. But I'm really looking forward to the game. Should be a good day, good occasion, another sold out away end. Of course it is. It's Birmingham City. That's what we do nowadays. And really looking forward to the game. But as for the opposition preview, we spoke to Chris Bell, who's a host of the West Yorkshire Football Show and also a Lincoln City fan. So let's hear what he has to say about Lincoln's start to the season so far and what he thinks about Birmingham City too.
Hi Sam, it's Chris Bell from the West Yorkshire Football Show here, but despite my involvement in the West Yorkshire Football Show, I am in fact a Lincoln City fan born and bred. So just wanted to give you a bit of an overview really of the club and the season so far on the whole as we look ahead of course to Birmingham's trip to Sincil Bank at the weekend. I guess the easiest place to start really is with the manager for Lincoln, Michael Skubala, who has had an interesting career, including being at one point the England futsal head coach. He was also on the coaching staff at a couple of clubs before joining Leeds United, which is probably where he's kind of best made his name. He was caretaker manager for the first team when Leeds were changing managers in the Premier League. In fact, he also managed a game for Leeds United at Old Trafford as well, in which they drew 1 apiece. From there, though, he came to Lincoln. This is his first kind of senior management role. He joined in November of 2023, got a couple of wins under his belt, but then, as things often do in football, it took a little bit of time for things to gel. We went through the entirety of December and January without seeing a league win last season. I think there was 1 or 2 that were thinking this might be an experiment that isn't going to pay off, and then it clicked. We went, I think, between the start of February and the end of the season with just 2 defeats and ended up going from a lower mid-table position to finishing 1 place and 2 points off the playoffs. And on another day, it could have been a different story. Actually, we may well have made the playoffs, but for a defeat to champions Portsmouth on the final day. As regards to summer, recruitment was fairly good. We didn't lose too many players. The only key players that we lost were Lucas Jensen, the goalkeeper, who joined Millwall, and Lass Sorensen, our right wing back, who joined Huddersfield Town. But in terms of the incomings, it's recruited well. It was a busy summer. I think there was 11 or 12 players came in, including 2 or 3 goalkeepers. But in the right wing back role, experience in Tendai Duriqua and Tom Hamer, who is I think 25, 26 years of age. He come from Burton Albion, almighty throw. So that's something to look out for if he was to start at the weekend. And as regards this season itself, we picked up pretty much where we left off. I'll be honest, we're doing better than I expected us to be at this early stage, given the sides that are in League One this season. Sitting in 4th, only 4 points behind yourselves, obviously being top. It's going to be a real gauge, I think, probably more so for us, from a Lincoln perspective, of where we could be coming in the end of the season. If we were to pull off a win, there'll be a lot of enthusiasm from the Lincoln fans that maybe we can mount a top 2 push. It's going to be tough, of course. But also, I don't think people will be too downhearted if Birmingham were to leave Central Bank at the weekend with all 3 points. We know the juggernaut that Birmingham City are, and look, I imagine it's going to be a bit of a learning curve, the whole League One experience for a lot of Blue supporters, but enjoy the ride. You've started well, and wish you all the best for the rest of the season, but of course, not for the game on Saturday. Come on, Lincoln, up the imps. Cheers, Sam.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's excited for the game, doesn't it? First meeting in 20 years, actually. The last time he played him was in 2004, and it was a League Cup victory got then with goals coming from Savage, Morrison and Gronka. So, yeah, a bit of a throwback. And the last time we actually lost to them was in 1911. So it's 17 games unbeaten against Lincoln. So hopefully we can go 18 and get another victory against them. As for the starting lineup for this game, I'm going to go with Ryan Alsop in goal because Peacock Frow's got that injury, isn't he, with that shoulder. And he was sent away actually on international duty with Northern Ireland. But then apparently the Northern Irish people sent him back to Birmingham because the injury was worse than what we expected. So for the meantime, it will be Ryan Alsop in goal. Right back, it's probably going to be Taylor Gardner-Hickman, isn't it? Someone that was brought into Birmingham as a centre midfielder, but now seems to have slotted in at right back and is doing a pretty decent job there. Was unlucky not to get a goal against Shrewsbury with that volley. And for the 2 centre backs, Christian Bielik is out for the moment, isn't he? So it looks like it will be Ben Davis that replaces Bielik. And I think Ben Davis as that 3rd choice centre back is perfectly fine, isn't it? A very good option. Hasn't shown too much wrong. I know he had a few teething problems with Walsall, didn't he, the first game that he played, but he looks to be understanding the system and learning and looking to be a very competent player. So Ben Davis as the centre back, perfectly fine for me alongside Christoph Clara, who has been superb, isn't he? There's no real more superlatives to say about him. And left back, Alex Cochrane, now he's had a bit of a rest during the international break. Hopefully he's fresh as ever, performed so well so far. So yeah, Cochrane at left back. The 2 holding midfielders, it has to be Paik and Iwata, doesn't it? Albeit that they've come back from international duty without any injuries because Paik went away with the Korean team. Iwata did stay, but he got that little knock, didn't he, against Shrewsbury? So hopefully he's going to be all right to play against Lincoln City. And for the 3 that are playing in front of those guys, I'm going to put Scott Wright in the starting 11. I feel like he's done pretty well so far in a Birmingham shirt. Someone that showed a lot of promise, a clinical edge to him as well with the finishing that was on show against Shrewsbury, getting them 2 goals. And you can see why he's someone that played in the Europa League final 2 years ago, because he looks to be a very astute signing, very clever on the pitch as well. So I'm going to go with Scott Wright on that right-hand side. Willem Williamson through the middle, someone again that's impressed and gone away vital in the international break. So someone that's an experienced international now at League One level. It's kind of crazy still to say that we've got all these international players at League One level, but yeah, someone that's impressed me so far. And then on the left, I'm actually going to go with Hansen. Got his first goal against Shrewsbury and hopefully he can get his first league goal on Saturday. And then up front, I'm going to go with Jay Stansfield, someone that pretty reliable, isn't he? I know that Alfie May was given the captain's armband against Shrewsbury, someone that Chris Davis has put a lot of trust in, but I'm still kind of unsure about that Stansfield May dynamic. So for now, I'd start with Jay Stansfield up top, seeing as he was rested for the Shrewsbury game. He obviously went away with the England under 21s. So let's see him back in action in League One. And as for my prediction for the game, I'm going to go over 2-1 win for Birmingham City, hoping we can get across the line, stay on top of the league and keep the momentum going. So if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, as it means a lot to us on the channel. We've done a new video recently. Me and Tommy, I don't know if you've seen it, have reacted to some of the past FA Cup goals of Birmingham City and reacted to them in a tier list. So if you could check out that video and leave your comment as to what you'd think, that'd be fantastic. And yeah, keep right on.